Hi Aquarius, I hope that you're all doing well. The first card that we have out here is Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune can sometimes a little bit be like you having a blindfold on and you're being manually spun around in circles and you don't know where exactly the direction is that you're gonna land facing, but you're kind of like in the middle of that going on. It feels like a little bit of a vortex to me. I'm seeing the Six of Swords though, so I do feel like you're about to land in a direction, like you're about to stop and you're about to see where it is that you're going. So this means that you can be in a bit of a changing time, or even some like wavering that's been happening. I don't know if wavering is the right word. It can just be like some shifting around, and you may not have known exactly where things were going to land. The next card out is Queen of Wands. Whatever it is, I'm seeing you look pretty confident about the direction that you're going in, so I'm not seeing you look particularly disturbed by this shift going on here. You actually look fine. You may be thinking about some things. With the Hermit coming out, you can be like keeping some stuff to yourself here, but this can be, with the Queen of Wands, something personally that you have going on. With Hermit and with Eight of Cups, you really can be thinking about what the best next move is to be making here. I'm seeing 10 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, so I'd say that this is all in consideration of what is going to feel most right for you. Like from a place intuitively that you're feeling things, what really is the correct direction to be going here. With the Wheel of Fortune, it could have been like, is it going to land on this? Is it going to land on that? Whatever it is, with the Queen of Wands, I feel like you're very trusting of this process. I feel even too like potentially this could be something that throws a person off. You are not looking thrown off to me by any means. I'm actually seeing you be in a spot where I feel like you're very capable of handling what this is that's going on here. And I'm also seeing you be in a very adaptable energy as well. And speaking of adaptability, we have the sign of Virgo here. Virgo is a mutable energy, which means that it's able to adapt and it's able to transition. Now, there's a lot of thought that's being put into this time right now, and you can feel like you're in a bit of a hermit period, really considering things and really looking at all of the different angles. And this can be a time where you're doing research, you can be finding answers as well. I feel like you're doing this independently, and I feel like this is all going to add up to the moves that you're going to be making once everything is figured out and thought through. So this is going to translate, it looks, to action that's going to be taken that is currently, feels like percolating right now. And having that 10 of Cups, I'd say that you're definitely thinking about the way that things are feeling to you. Like you're tuning into that subtle rhythm here, and it's giving you a sense of direction. So you really are considering the feel of things when you are looking into this whole like project that you have going on here. I do get the sense of it being quite involved, the stuff that you're figuring out. There can be an expansion of some sort that's happening too. I'm seeing 5 of Wands. I want to clarify it. Okay. A little bit of a liminal space here. 5 of Wands is connected with 8 of Cups, so you can be working out. With 8 of Cups, it's making sure that you're not prematurely stepping away from something, simultaneously making sure that you're not staying in something that you're not meant to be staying in anymore. And so something about that process is being worked out here. So it can be like how much to give, how much to not give, how much to like spend over there, how much to not spend over there. This feels like you're still in the midst of this transition that's being made. I feel like not all of this is totally tangible yet. I feel like you're heavily in the process of this. I get the sense too that there may be something that's actually been giving you quite a problem that you may at this point be like, I don't need to spend any more time trying to solve this. I'm actually gonna like just do the transition now so I don't have to deal with this anymore. So it may be something, because I'm seeing Five of Wands, but then I'm seeing Eight of Cups. Five of Wands can be something that you see as still being a knot of some sort, like still being a problem of some sort, still being an issue of some sort. With that Eight of Cups there, you can be like, I've been trying to problem solve and I just feel like I'm not really getting anywhere with it. So you possibly could be getting to the point of like, I'm not even going to bother with this anymore. I'm going to move elsewhere now. That's what I'm going to do. But you may not totally be in that place yet. Like this may be something that maybe you're still not totally ready to let go yet, because I'm seeing Two of Swords here, and I'm seeing that be connected with Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is going to be like, is this something that I still want to like stick around for any amount of time, give any amount of energy still, or is it something that I'm fully going to shift over in a different direction? Having that Two of Swords there, I'd say this isn't fully I'd say there can still be some stuff that's being clarified having to do with this. And part of this can be maybe the pain of this situation, maybe the difficulty of this situation that hasn't totally been unpacked yet. There can also still be a bit of attachment to this as well. So even though your heart is leading you somewhere here, and when I say your heart, I mean not just your heart, it's not just this emotional thing. This is something where like on a soul level you are getting guidance coming in here. But I was seeing Eight of Cups go back in this deck, which I was clarifying with the Devil. And so what this can mean is that like you are currently like extricating yourself from something. You're currently detaching yourself from something that may be difficult to like unbind yourself from. So there is a like period of withdrawing from that, so the transition can be made, is what I'm seeing. And there may be a part of you that like you still have some mixed feelings about this. Why? Okay. Just intuitively what I'm feeling, because we have Virgo coming out here, and this doesn't mean you need to have prominent Virgo placements, you know, like you can have Virgo on like one of your angles, or just like something going on with your Mercury right now that can be important, or this can be something going on in the house of Virgo for you. So if you're like, I don't like think of anything specifically with Virgo, know that this can still very much be your story here. It's more about the story than anything, because I feel like understanding the way that charts tie into all of this, it takes some nuance to totally understand. What I'm seeing is why you may not feel like you're totally done with something, and there can be this part of you looking at Virgo again. There can be this part of you that's like, I don't know if I'm totally done, because Virgo likes to problem solve. And so Virgo, until we get to that point, which all of us can tap into that energy that is Virgo, we look at a situation and it's like, is this really all that there is here? And I need to know when to cut my losses, or do I just need to look at it from this angle or that angle, or like work a little bit harder, give it a little bit more time? So I feel like you're still in that in between here of figuring out that answer for yourself, and you can still be feeling like you're not totally 100% sure about this yet, which is totally fine. So I feel like you're in the process of that, but I get the feeling like something has been triggered within you, like something has been activated within you, where you may really not like to walk away from something unless it's like neatly resolved. And this may be one of those situations where you don't really get that. So there can be a part of you that's having a hard time with that. And so you may be like, I don't know if I'm ready to fully let go of this yet. I don't know if I'm fully ready to transition yet. You know, so it's kind of like, I mean, for some of you, it could be like a fight that you're getting into with a person. I think for like many of you, it doesn't have to do with something like this, but I'm just using this as an example. It's like if you and somebody are still having an argument with them, like that Five of Wands can be them like still saying something, and it's like you could get the last word in here, or you could just like walk away, because it feels like either way. I don't really think that this is something that, I feel like it's just going to be something that ends up continuing. I'm not really seeing the situation change much. And that's why it feels like this Eight of Cups is necessary to know, like, you may not get like that nice, neat closure from this. You may not get this like feeling like it's totally wrapped in a bow here. This may be something that you leave while it feels kind of open-ended because you just don't want to deal with the problem of it anymore. You just don't want to deal with the conflict of it anymore. Like, you just don't want to deal with the, like, is it going to change today? Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to get better? Is it going to get worse? I just feel like you can be at a point where you're like, I don't want to play the guessing game anymore. So I'm going to do something now. So I really feel with this Eight of Cups, like you're tuning into this and saying like, I could still be giving my energy to this. And there is that possibility because we have a 5 here. It could get better, but also too, it could get worse. And you could be like, I don't know if I want to take that chance here. And Wheel of Fortune is like, are you going to make a bet here? What are you going to do? Is this something that you're going to look at and say like maybe I'll just give it a little bit more time to see, but like, is that a chance that you want to be taking here? Or do you want to maybe transition to a different situation that could just overall be better for you? And that's what you can be figuring out. And having Queen of Wands, this is about knowing your worth, knowing what you're capable of, being confident in the choices that you're making too, and resolving any conflict that you have that would prohibit you from making the necessary moves now. Even if that is coming to terms, making peace with something still feeling open-ended. That may be a way that you resolve conflict, is by allowing something to not neatly be closed out. So that can be something that you're doing here. Because I just get like something is feeling like a headache, and I feel too like, it's like if this grabs onto your ego, you may still stay within the situation because you may still feel like I have something to prove. Or if I just apply myself enough, I can figure this out. But you can be getting to a point where you're like, why though? Why is that really how I want to be using my energy? Is that really how I want to be using my time here? And you just may decide against it because of that. But I feel like this little part of you that maybe has a hard time letting go of situations like this can be being tested a bit. But that's also something that you can realize going through this too. Like seeing that about yourself through that. And if you want that to dictate the moves that you're making here. So I feel like this is just part of the process of you processing all of this. I feel like this is quite healthy, what you're moving through here. It feels like the very natural way to be moving through the energy. Because I'm seeing you be quite self-reflective about things with the Hermit. I'm seeing you like, you want to know, you want to like see yourself within this clearly. Like you want to look at yourself honestly, to reflect honestly. And so you really are going to get answers here. But yeah, I feel like a little bit of pondering, and I don't think that that's in any way you stagnating. It doesn't seem like that. I feel like you're giving things an appropriate amount of time to reflect and to find answers, and I do feel like it might be slightly uncomfortable. At the same time, I do feel like you're going to get to this conclusion of being like, I just don't want to mess with this anymore. Like, I don't know what could happen if I stay longer, but I'm just at this point where, like, maybe I'd just rather be focusing on something else now. But yeah, I kind of, like, the way energetically that I feel this situation has had you tethered is, it feels like this energy that's like, you're gonna walk away, and I feel like you get that choice of whether that like goads you into coming back into the interaction, or if you just like really allow yourself to like see what else is out there. Yeah, I do keep getting this again. I feel like there could be something where you could be recognizing the only reason why I would stay doing this is because it's triggering something within my ego And that's what's keeping me over here. Because when I check in with my soul here, it's already telling me what to do. I already am getting those messages, but there's something about this that is activating that part of my ego where I want to like have a comeback here. You can feel too, though, that this is keeping things rocky for you on a personal level. You may not want that anymore. And that can also be something that you're realizing too. Like, I want to take my chances elsewhere and see what's going to happen. See that you actually can make do, that really is possible. I do feel something about, you know, the thing about this, like pulling your ego back, there's something here about proving your worth. And if you're still caught up on that train, it feels like you may not be getting out of town yet. But if you're like, you know what, I determined that for myself, I don't need this situation to like validate that for me, I feel like you're gonna allow for this transition to happen. But for those of you that can still be in a spot where you're like, no, I need this situation to be reflective, or like I need this person to say that, you know, it can keep you in that like waiting for some rain here that may never come. Because I do feel like this brings up something personally for you, and you may be making that connection as well. Like, that's why it keeps pulling me in. That's why I kept looking over my shoulder and then turning back around and coming back into it. But I think when you get to that point where you're like, this does not determine how like valuable what I have to offer is, it just changes the course of everything for you now. Because it's a very different perspective shift. So I'd say that you're like really growing as a person going through this process, and that you're learning so much about yourself through moving through this situation. You're growing, you're learning, you're understanding, you're realizing, you're going through processes of healing. I feel too like you're at this point where you're like, I don't need to like keep reinforcing this type of situation. I want this to heal, and I feel like it's not going to close if I stay here, meaning like the wound. I feel like it's not going to be able to close, and if I want that to happen, I really need to follow my heart here. And you can feel like you need to be brave with this as well, which I feel like that came up specifically in one of the recent Aquarian readings. It would have come out on February 10th. I'm recording this and it's not February 10th, but that reading will have come out on the 10th, and this will be after that, maybe possibly the 12th when this reading comes out. Yeah, 10 of Swords is coming out sideways, so as I said before, this feels like being in transit. I feel like you know what's going to be happening. I feel like this process of where's it gonna land, what's gonna be going on, this is still something that's not totally set in stone. I feel like it's coming into play. I feel as well like this is really going to remove you from a situation that you do not need to be in anymore. Like you're basically graduating from this by realizing that you don't have to play this game anymore, and you are moving into something else. The most difficult part can be saying that's that. That can be the part that feels most trying. Also too, for some of you, there can be something about the timing with Wheel of Fortune connected with the 10 of Swords on its side. I'm getting confirmation of this. I'm seeing something here where this may not be like immediately it happens right now today. You can know that that's the direction that you're going in, and there's going to be more of a transition here rather than stop, start. I feel like there may be some overlay here. Like cycle here, and they're kind of going to intersect a little bit, and I feel like this is going to be a more smooth transition that you end up making. So I'm saying that that's in the process of happening right now. And so I don't know specifically the timing of this. I'm seeing what's to come. I feel like the timeline is still, you're still determining the timeline here. I feel too like you don't want to be dealing with something anymore, and that really can, I feel like in your head this, it's just like a matter of timing now at this point, because I'm seeing events. It's just the timeline that feels not totally decided upon. That I'm seeing you feel like very confident about this. I'm really not seeing any hesitation. I feel like there's no doubt that you have within yourself. I feel like it's just still figuring out the timing. And I'm not seeing that be reflective of you questioning yourself or anything like that. Some of you too, you feel like you're like dropping some sort of baggage, or like losing some type of extra weight here is what I'm seeing as well. And I'm also seeing this like concept of you not waiting around unnecessarily. I feel really like this is going to like not only alleviate you, but it's going to like lighten something, like lighten the feeling of the steps that you're taking too, in a good way. I feel as well like on a personal level, this is a leveling up that's happening too. Anything else? Something about figuring out the timing may feel a little bit tricky, but I'm seeing you be able to figure this out. But there may be a feeling that like an anxiety connected with the timing. That can be something that like, I just feel like it's going to take some effort as it relates to that. I don't know why things are tricky having to do with the timing, but I am seeing stuff alluding to that, like multiple things that are alluding to that. This as well may not be a change that you necessarily wanted to make, but you can feel like it's kind of necessary, so I'm getting that too. And so with that, I feel like that pretty much puts everything out there. Things are going to be so much lighter. I feel like this has been, you can feel like this was a big sort of test that you've been moving through, and feel very happy that this is coming to a close now, I will say. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.